So today's lesson is going to be about angles. And angles in general are the space created by intersecting lines, or they could be segments, or rays. So I'm going to draw a couple examples of angles. And again, angle is just the space created. So here's a ray, and here's another ray. Oops, do that. And here's another ray. The angle is this space right here that's created. So I'm going to draw another example. Here are two intersecting lines. And there are multiple angles created. I'm going to draw one right here in red. That angle is created. There's also an angle down here in blue, and I could go all the way around. There are actually 4 angles created by these intersecting lines. You could also think about just a shape with 3 segments. So a triangle is a shape created by 3 segments, and within that triangle, there's an angle here, angle 1, here's angle 2, here's angle 3. All right, so the parts of an angle are, an angle has a vertex and 2 sides. And here's an example of an angle, really basic, with a ray. Here's our space that's created our angle. The sides, if I label these points, let's call this point A. I'm going to put a random point on this ray, so this is ray AB. This is ray AC. And the vertex is the point where the intersection is. So the vertex is point A. The sides, in our case, let's call them rays, are ray AB. And you could also say ray AC. Those are the 2 sides that create our angle. Now let's talk about naming this angle that we have drawn. So to name an angle, we use the angle symbol. It just looks like a miniature angle, and 3 letters with the vertex in the middle. Or you could also use, I'm gonna write, there's middle, or angle symbol and a number, or angle symbol and a letter. And it just depends on our angle, how we name it. So I'm going to go back to this angle up here, and I'm going to write name, and we're going to name this angle. So the most general way to name an angle is with 3 letters with the vertex in the middle. So I could call this angle BAC. I could also write that differently with A in the middle. I could write CAB. The other way to name this angle is I could just name it angle A. And the reason is because the vertex A only has 1 angle coming off of it. Also, sometimes there will be a number in the angle, like 1 or 2 or whatever. I could call this angle 1. And lastly, if there was a measure, let's say we knew the measure of this angle, maybe this angle is, it looks like an acute angle, maybe it's 60 degrees. I could also say that the measure of angle 1 equals 60 degrees. I would use that equal sign, and the little m means the measure. So that's how we name an angle. Okay. So there are multiple types of angles. We're going to go through those. So the first type of angle, and a lot of these words you might seem familiar to. So first we have obtuse. So obtuse is for angles between 90 and 180 degrees. So the inequality for that means that the angles are greater than 90 but less than 180 degrees. An example of what that would look like is, here's a vertex, it opens up, it's a pretty big angle, not a completely straight angle, but bigger than 90 degrees. So then we have acute angles, acute little angles, they're cute and little. These are angles between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. So they're bigger than 0, but they're less than 90 degrees. And those are cute little angles. Here's the vertex. They're smaller than 90 degrees. Right angles are exactly 90 degrees. And we have a symbol for those, which we've talked about already this year. It's a little box, like a little square inside the angle. And then lastly, we have straight angles. And straight angles are angles that are exactly 180 degrees. And another way to think about them is that they're formed by opposite rays. Opposite rays means here's the endpoint of a ray. Let's say one ray goes to the right. The other ray goes exactly to the left. So it really ultimately just makes a straight line, just like that. So that's 180 degrees. Those are opposite rays. So we also have two angle relationships to review, and those are called, the first is called supplementary. And supplementary angles are angles that sum or add to 180 degrees total. An easy way to remember that is supplementary starts with an S. We know that straight angles also starts with an S. So remember, supplementary sums to 180. So supplementary makes a straight angle. It means that supplementary straight, it's 180 degrees. Complementary angles are very nice to each other. They give each other compliments. Just kidding. They are angles that sum to 90 degrees. So together, they add up to 90 degrees. So a quick picture of supplementary angles. Here is, I'm going to start with my straight line. Let's say that I have 1, 2, 3 angles. And I'll say that the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3 is equal to 180. So those are supplements. For complementary angles, I'm going to start by drawing my 90 degree angle. And I'll say here's angle 1, here's angle 2. The measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 90. So 1 and 2 are complements. So that's all we're going to do for right now, is just the basic vocab. In our next class, we will talk about how to use this vocab to solve some geometry problems.